What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Existential Stoic Podcast Quick Fix, episode number 25.
Woo.
Today's episode, we're talking about finding your passion. I'm Randy. I'm here with my buddy Danny. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Randy.
All right. So, in this quick fix, generally under 10 minutes, we're both going to share three quick tips each on how to find your passion. Now, it should be noted that Danny and I are both kind of against this idea of finding your passion. It really started from that book, What Color is Your Parachute? And this
Yeah.
whole idea of finding your passion was debunked in another book that So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. So if you're interested, you could check out that book there. But despite that, we are still going to have this quick fix episode to share with you how to find your passion. So
Yeah.
since I'm
Yeah.
introducing,
Yeah. Go
go
ahead.
on.
Sorry. You want to? I was gonna say. I don't think we both don't really necessarily like the idea of passion, but there is still value in it. I think there's still value in finding something that you're interested in and really
Mhm.
do like. Even if we don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So first one that I have is, oftentimes when I'm trying to find passions, when I'm reading those books, it's just like, go find your passion and just do your passion every day. You're going to be the most loving, amazing life all the time. I'm in a complete state where there's like no passion anywhere. It's just complete gray world. And, so it's
Yeah.
completely passionless state. And so those books that are just like, just find your passion and just do it all the time and move to Brazil, just surf every day, open up a surf camp. And it's just like not realistic. So one thing that I found that's very helpful in times like those is, not trying to find my passion. I just ask myself a question using an important clarifying word. What could I be passionate about? Or what could I be excited about? Because that thing allows me to think a little bit more openly, whereas like, yeah, I'm feeling in a funk and nothing's really great, but you know what? I probably could get excited about photographing girls in bikinis. I probably could get excited about that. So like it allows me to kind of open up my mind a little bit more and just have a bit more fun with it.
Yeah, I like that too because it's like I think that's the problem too. And people read those books or they see the things about passion. It sounds like this, like almost like magnetizing force. Like you're going to be sucked to it, and like it's going to just be awesome. And the
Happily
reality
ever
is,
after.
yeah, right. That's it, right? It's like the movies. This
Mm-hmm.
this like ideal. And I think the reality is a lot of times, like, yeah, a lot of times, dude, I'm in a mood too, where like nothing is. I have no passion for anything at the moment, but if you clarify the question the right way, I could do that, right? I could do this for a little while. I could do this. And at least then you're doing something, you're trying it, you go from there. I like that one. It's a good one. Yeah. All right. So my first one is, and asking yourself too, there's another question to ask yourself, but like, what are you good at? I think a lot of times we forget the role that talent plays. Everyone has some talents. Everybody's good at some stuff, whatever it is. And like it might be, you're good at like, drawing or writing, or you're good at like, working on computers or whatever. And looking at those skills, cultivating them, they usually work for a ton of different jobs, right? I mean, they're usually wildly applicable. And so that's a great starting place.
I
Yeah.
really like that one because that's such a good point. Like people would probably agree saying that Michael Phelps has found his passion. They're like, he's an amazing swimmer. He's found his passion. But also it's because he found his strengths. Like he has a very long torso, extremely long arms, and short, small legs. Like he couldn't be a long distance runner. He's built like a gorilla. So like it's important to find uh you know find things that you're well suited to that could be in the direction of your passion.
That's a good example too, right? Because like, I mean, you look at those, like, no, like top athletes in anything are usually like physically like just designed for that. It's insane. Like, and it makes sense, right? It's like, but they found it. They were lucky enough to find it. Not everybody does that. Then everybody looks at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So my next one is you just got to try a lot of stuff. There's no way that you could possibly know without trying a whole bunch of stuff. And I think one of the biggest injustices done in at least America nowadays is this idea that we got to get kids into school to university at 18 years old. They have to decide what they're going to do for the rest of their life and commit to $100,000+ of debt in order to do that. I think that's the biggest injustice being done to the next generation nowadays because you just have to try a whole bunch of stuff. Like when I went into university, I had no idea what I wanted to be. I didn't even want to go to university, but because it was the standard of where I grew up, I needed to go to university. And then by the time I knew anything about what I wanted to do, by the time I knew anything about money, I was $250,000 in debt. So like it's
Yeah.
not a great starting point.
It's a terrible starting point. And I
Yeah.
agree with you. We're just too freaking, at the time, we just don't have enough life experience or enough maturity. You don't know yourself. You have no clue. And I think, but that trying things out helps you get to that point of self-knowledge. I think that's crucial. It's a good one. Um, the next one I have is actually, it sounds pretty simple, I guess, but it's just routine too, prioritizing towards a life, you know, towards that, either that passion or that life. I think it's fine to identify things, but if you don't work on it, it doesn't matter. It won't happen anyway. And I think you have to make time, even if it's just like, if you're doing a job you hate and you love something, giving yourself an hour a day to do it, to start building up those skills, to start building some sort of base to work with so that you can do it down the road and know that you can get there. It might take, 5 years or 10 years, but you can get there to where then the life is, your passion. It's what you want to do.
I really like that example because it it gives you that time to find out if it really is your passion before you're stuck doing it. Like I used to go to all of these real estate seminars and they would always convince people to not only take out a massive amount of credit card debt to buy their course, but also to quit their job so they could become a full-time real estate professional. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing you could possibly do because number one, you have no idea if you're going to like it. And number two, you're going to be stuck doing it every day, no matter what, because you already quit your job. You already took out all this massive amounts of credit card debt. And so like by finding the life you want to live and doing a little bit every day, it's not as high risk. And you can actually see if it's something that you would enjoy doing, because if it's your passion, if you're going to be doing it all the time, you're going to have to do it every day.
Yeah, and not to mention, and when you hit that point where you realize, hey, this is what I want to do, then you can go all in, right? Then you can take that big step and quit your job and do all the other stuff and just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you already have all the proof you can do it behind you, and you have the skills necessary to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bingo. Great one, Danny. So the next one, this is kind of stolen from one of Mark Manson's books, at least one of the words is, but the premise is, what shit sandwich do you want to eat? Because here's the thing, no matter what job you have, no matter what passion you have, there's going to be downsides to it. Like, for instance, I was a veterinarian, and I was a veterinarian because as a child, I loved animals. And everyone around me was like, you love animals, you should be a veterinarian. And I was like, that sounds great to me. I can't imagine a better job than spending all day with puppies and kittens. That sounds awesome. Fact of a veterinarian's job that I didn't find out until after $250,000 of debt and going to all the schooling. A lot of a veterinarian's job is euthanizing animals, dealing with people's grief, and expressing anal glands. None of the things that I enjoyed doing as a child to become a veterinarian. So like, you have to figure out what shit sandwich you want to eat. And for me, especially the euthanasias, that was a shit sandwich that I did not want to eat. So like, I knew for me, I need to get out of that as soon as possible because I was not cool killing stuff.
I really like that too. What I was gonna say, I really like that though, because it's important, right? It's the idea, like, no matter what you do that you love, there's going to be aspects of everything that you don't like. And the question is, do you like this enough, or is the stuff that you dislike bearable enough that this is suitable for you, right? Because I mean, there's some things that like you're just gonna hate, or like like you said, like being the vet, like euthanizing animals is not easy, but it's a huge part of the job, as well as dealing with people, and that's hard too. So if those are two things you don't want to do, that's probably not a good career for you. It's like That's just, it's a good way to look at it. I like that. My last one is, so we talk about passion. People tend to think of this as something like I said, like magnetized, like you're gonna get there. If you have trouble finding your passion, I think another way to look at it is look at your life like a project. Like, what is my overall goal that I want in life? What are the things that I really want? Is it family? Is it land and quiet life, whatever? And then working towards that. Make that the passion project rather than like this work. And that can be a way to make your life very valuable and make your work bearable, because it's towards a goal that you really want, or it gives you time to live the life that you want, and separating that work life thing a bit, if that's right for you. Because passion, I think, tends to like, it makes life and work one, right? Where like, it's like they're all the time. This is what you do constantly. Yeah.
That's a great one, and I think that's another thing that we have backwards, where we try and get people to be pigeonholed into a career before they figure out what type of life they want to live. So,
Oh yeah.
like, if you're somebody who really loves to travel and you want to have a life traveling, you can't be pigeonholed in a career where you're stuck at a location.
Yeah.
And so, like, doing what you're saying there and figuring out what type of life you want to live, and then working your passions around that, that's really crucial, because that allows you to really have the life of your dreams.
Yeah. That's what we all want, right?
Hmm. Just to live life with so much passion, finding your
I know.
passion.
That I
Yeah,
can't stop. There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. I know this book. You got to read the book by Cal Newport. So good they can't ignore you. He completely
Yeah.
debunked the whole passion thing. It's, you know. Anyways, we'll spare you
Yeah.
the details. Read the book. But
There
that's
you
it for today's quick fix episode 25, finding your passion. Thank you so
go.
much for listening to this quick fix episode of the Existential Stoic podcast. Make sure to watch on YouTube. Also listen to our podcast. Also like, subscribe, share, and I almost got it. It was
We were
great
so
seeing you
close.
again. I know, right? 2 words away. Great to see you,
Yeah.
Danny. Have a good one.
Later, Andy.